Well, they're both probably coming true. Let's be honest. Did you just put your microphone in the water? We'll do a fish show.
Fishy show, fishy schwa.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's Hey Watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
And this is Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. The show that answers the question of what movies came out in 2002.
But not all of them, just a couple.
Some of them.
There's too many for us to really get into the whole nitty gritty of it.
So each week, one of us picks a movie, and then we watch the movie, then we come on this thing and talk about the movie, and then we post it online for people to listen to.
For the world to devour.
We make free content available to all.
And yet it is still apparently too expensive for people.
So Tony picked a movie this week because he wanted to get to some buddy cop interaction.
Yeah, well, because if people aren't, weekly watchers, which, shame on you. You guys should be.
Shame.
We did Chips. Dan picked Chips last week, which is a great buddy comedy.
Yeah.
Very fun. Buddy cops. Dirty, raunchy, which is ridiculous. Dan didn't like it. I like it. Whatever. So I wanted to show Dan that there are worse buddy cop movies.
Yes.
And then this movie is not better for sure. It's bad in a different way. But I'm also not totally convinced it's a buddy cop movie as much as I thought it was going to be. So I feel like I just swung and struck out. I'm like 0 for 2. I'm just fighting off foul balls at this point. I don't know what I'm doing.
What movie is this, Tony?
Oh, yes. This is Bad Company from 2002. Oscar winner / nominee, probably winner, Anthony Hopkins, right? He won for something, I'm sure.
For Silence of the Lambs, I believe.
Soon to be Oscar winner, I'm sure, Chris Rock.
Don't think Chris Rock has won any Oscars, but I could be wrong.
I said soon to be. He's due. He's due after performances like this and Grown Ups. I mean, this guy's due. Let's get to him.
So, yes, Bad Company referring to the CIA, clocking in an hour and 56 minutes.
And what does the CIA stand for, Dan? Do you remember?
He wrote crackers in my ass.
Great joke.
He said crackers in my ass.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys are counting. There's an M in there. So yeah. I don't even know. I don't know who wrote that joke, but it misses on so many levels.
I laughed, though.
You laughed? Dan, you sell out.
Laughed crackers in my ass.
Sell out. Oh, my God. You laugh at this, but you don't laugh at Dax Shepard eating ass all day. Everybody's eating ass. Oh, Dan.
Dax Shepard, everybody. So, Jerry Bruckheimer production, Joel Schumacher director.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie was supposed to come out in 2001, but because of September 11, they bumped it back a year because it had to do with terrorists
in
doing
New
bad
York.
things in New York City. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, is a year long enough? I don't know.
I mean, it was long enough that people didn't get outraged, but it was not long enough that people cared.
Well, I'm not sure that people didn't see this because of the New York thing. I think people didn't see it because it didn't look very good.
No. So we set up. We're in Czechoslovakia, Europe, land of violins and buildings, and there's this chess game, and Anthony Hopkins shows up, and they're talking to like the bad guy, and they're going to give him $20 million for the device, which we pretty much figure out it's a nuclear weapon.
Oh, yeah. What else could it be?
And then Chris Rock is like I'm a straight CIA guy. And then.
And how hard is he pushing that? In this first, the beginning scene where he's the CIA guy, how hard is he trying to be like a stiff CIA? To me, it's the most I've ever seen an actor push that I can think of off the top of my head. He's trying so hard to be taken seriously as this guy. It's very strange.
Yeah, well, he's because we're going to find out that he has a twin who has to be like the polar opposite of him. So he's trying to play the opposite game and be
Yeah.
like, I'm really a white guy who grew up in the Hamptons,
Yeah.
as opposed to the streetwise, jokey, fun Chris
Oh, was
Rock
he
that we're
fun?
gonna.
I must have
Well, I
missed that
mean,
part of the movie, Dan.
by comparison to this guy's like, I love
Sure.
antiques and I love
Sure. Well,
skiing.
and he doesn't even listen to rap, so he can't be fun.
Oh,
That's the moral of the
he
movie.
listens to jazz and classical music. So
Oh,
we
classical like
basically
Run DMC. So,
So they give the bad guy $1 million, and then he gives them this phone, and then he says this stuff where it's like, "You've got to keep this phone with you because at some secret moment, I'm gonna call on this phone, and things are gonna happen, go down in the future."
you know what? I'll save that question for later when they reveal what the phone was for. I'll stand down.
Isn't the phone there for him to take a phone call?
No, nope, it's not. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's
Oh,
towards
okay.
the end of the film.
So the Chris Rock character Kevin is walking back to his hotel. Where does he walk, Tony?
In the middle of the street.
In the middle of the street.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad we're talking about that. I wasn't sure if that's where you were going or not. Because what?
And so, like, the menacing car comes up behind him, and then he spends about 2 minutes running,
In the
still in
street.
the middle of the street, trying to run away from the car.
And here's the thing, Dan. I mean, first of all, that's dumb. Get out of the middle of the street. Don't walk in the street. Don't run in the street. If a car's chasing you, get off the street. Don't run in a straight line. But more importantly, the sidewalk is littered with metal posts for this very reason. If you're going to shoot a scene, Dan, where you have a guy choosing to run down the middle of the street, don't put barriers on the side by the sidewalk. Pick a different street. Go to any other street that doesn't have barriers specifically to stop traffic from running into people on the sidewalk. It's so dumb.
And I mean, he like runs in the middle of the street for a long ways and gets away.
Yeah, no, he does it. He does. Apparently, he can outrun a car.
So he gets up there, and then of course we have your typical European procession of religious people, which, having been to Europe, these do occur.
Really? I've never been to Europe. I believe you.
We've been in Europe, and then you're like, religious procession. I don't know if they usually happen in the middle of the night when you're running away and there's no one in the
midnight
streets.
mass. That's got to be a thing, right?
I don't think it was midnight.
Well, it's a television show, and it's incredible.
So all the bad guys pull out guns, and he's like, "Get down, religious procession!" And then he's like,
But he's also hiding in them. I understand that he's telling them to get down, but he's also using them as shields. He's doing both simultaneously.
Yeah, and I think that's a thing about this movie is everything is in like half measures like this.
Yeah.
Where you're like, either make him like the guy that's like human shield,
right?
or make him the guy like, I gotta help people.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, he should have been using them as human shields. I would have liked it more.
I don't want to be that guy, but if it's between me and somebody I don't know, I'm gonna pick me.
Yeah, but you're gonna duck behind someone. They should have made him use people as human shields, Well,
I think the difference is I can't use people as human shields because I need 3 to 4 people stacked up in a line to just carry around. Chris Rock could do it with half a person. He's a skinny guy.
So he climbs over this thing and sort of jumps down from the thing.
Awkwardly, by the way.
Looks so bad.
It's the anti-Jason Bourne. Like, is he not trained in anything? He is so clumsy when he climbs over this thing. It's sad. It's sad to see.
It's embarrassing. They made it embarrassing for the poor character. And you're like, at least like make him seem James Bondy where he does something cool.
He should have some sort of training. That's all I'm saying.
The thing I noticed was this is like maybe pre-parkour. So like nobody does any sort of stunts. Everybody's just like,
I don't know if it's because it's pre-parkour. There are no stunts. There's minimal stunt work in this. I feel like Chris Rock was like, no, I'll just do my own stunts. And then he couldn't do anything. And they were like, well, fuck it. I guess this is what we get. Can't hire someone now. It's too late.
Guess they're not going to complain about him not doing his own stunts because he did them. They're going to complain about how terrible they look because he did them.
Yeah.
So he jumps down the thing, and Anthony Hopkins like drags him into a car, and they're all like, "Oh, this might be giving away who you are, but we're doing it to save you." And they pull him in, and they just pulled in a dead body.
But let's talk about for a second when they're in the car.
Yeah,
So he pulls him in. He's draped over Anthony Hopkins' lap. Like, if you didn't see this movie, Chris Rock is draped over Anthony Hopkins' lap right now. Like, he's laying in it like a baby.
it's kind of
And
sexy.
Anthony Hopkins is like, hey, Kevin, you okay? As if this is a normal situation for Chris Rock to be in. How often is Chris Rock cuddling on his lap that he doesn't immediately think, oh, this guy must be dead because he's just laying across me like a baby child waiting for me to cuddle him? It's ridiculous.
So we cut back to Langley CIA headquarters, wherever the hell that is in America, because they go back to America and like they snap their fingers and poof,
Well, that's how
everybody's in
fast
America.
they travel, the CIA. I don't know if you know this. They got lightning fast jets.
And we find out that the thing they're trying to buy is the nuclear bomb, and then they have 9 days, and then we set up all this stuff about how he's got a brother. Is this what we do? The whole brother? I guess we set it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we pretty much do it. Not only do we do it immediately, but I don't know if I was not paying attention quite enough, but I felt like we jumped in mid conversation. Like, I don't feel like we introduced the brother. We were just already talking about it. Like, well, can he do it? He is his brother. He's the twin, but let's look at footage of him. And I was like, wait, you guys just knew this the whole time?
Which is a very leading question. It's like one of their prime agents they know has a twin brother. They've never told the agent that he has a twin brother.
They just kept that a secret from him. What?
Thanks, bro. What? And you know, but they know that they could try to activate him instantly.
Right, yeah, he's the contingency plan, I guess. I guess this is years in the making, probably.
It's like they have all these secret files on everybody ready to go about who they could use. You know, it's like we could take Tony's sister and then put him in a suit and like send him out there.
And then bada boom, everyone will believe it.
I'm gonna look up at one of these shows and I'm gonna be like, "Is that Tony?
Who are you?
Are you?" So we set up that he's got this twin brother, but the twin brother they separated at birth because of a cold or something.
Yeah, because he's like defective. It was so weird to me. They were like, yeah, we separated you because you didn't work right as a person. And so we wanted your brother to have the best chance to be adopted. So we just pretended you didn't exist. How insulting is that? And he takes it in stride. Chris Rock doesn't even blink when they tell that to him. It's weird.
He is like an African American. So, I mean, not to laugh, but
so maybe he gets it. That's what you're saying.
I think, unfortunately, yes. So, but he's like a master of chess. So he's hustling chess. He's hustling tickets at the same time. You need the Knicks? I ain't got the Knicks. No Knicks, no Knicks. Then he goes home and he's got a girlfriend. He loves the girlfriend, but the girlfriend's like, I'm breaking up with you because that's Kerry Washington's the girlfriend.
Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. She went on to big things after this. This really catapulted her career. Let's be honest. People saw this movie and they're like, wow, let's get her in more stuff.
Yeah, I thought Kerry Washington was the other woman, but what do I know?
The brothers, girlfriend. The dead brothers' girlfriend.
They should have had the same actress play both of them.
That would be, Dad, you're making it too complicated now. I wouldn't be able to tell anybody apart.
So he's also a DJ. And then she's like, you should have stayed in college and I'm leaving you to go do something somewhere.
Yeah, oh shit, I don't remember where she's going. Is that weird? She says it. Huh. Yeah, no, she's leaving him.
So he goes to I would too. He goes to the club and the other DJ's like, oh, here you go. And then he puts on I'm All Out of Love, to which everybody boos. This is the weirdest scene ever. Everybody boos. Then this one guy comes up there, the owner of the club. He's like, take that off or you're fired. And then he just leaves it on. And then there's one white woman and she's like dancing and she's like, she's
biggest
like,
smile on her face. She has the biggest smile on her face. She's crazy. There's something There's something going on there, Dan. Everyone vacates the dance floor except for her, and she's just there, just having a great time. I don't know. It's very strange. Such a weird. But even before that, the scene starts weird because they're supposed to be friends, the two DJs.
Yeah.
So Chris Rock, because they were hanging out in the park earlier with I remember his name from Almost Human.
There were the two other friends. He's the
Right.
other guy
And
in the
so-
park. Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the other guys in the park. He's DJing. Chris Rock comes up and he's like, "Oh, my girlfriend left me." And he's like, "Oh, shoot. Well, I'll see you tomorrow." And I was like, what? What a weird exchange. He doesn't give any like sympathy. He's like, "No, hey, you want to talk about it a little bit?" He's like, "Cool. That sucks. I got a jet. Bye."
Now,
Good
Tony,
friends. Yeah, well, what?
when you're a DJ, is there just like
Been there
DJ
many
material there for you? Typically, at a DJ, you walk in with your Creator Records, other
Right.
dude walks out with his Creator Records, but it's like, nah,
I
everybody's
agree.
DJ stuff.
I usually you would bring your own stuff because that's what makes you the DJ is you pick the style. I guess maybe it's like a house DJ situation and they're like, these are the records you can play. Don't play anything else.
Oh, okay.
But then he plays All Out of Love. So that theory goes out. You know what? I just talked myself out of it.
More importantly, he would have had to bring that record with him. They wouldn't have had
Yeah,
that
he would
record
have had
there.
to carry it under his arm, which would have been kind of funny if he brought it from home. He's just like, I got to listen to this.
More importantly, he doesn't get fired.
He doesn't get fired at all, nor does he turn off the music, as far as I can tell. Like, I think it just keeps going.
So the CIA calls him and orders some tickets, and then they meet him in this park, and it's like this really nice park. And then he says, as he's getting out of like the taxi, like, "How am I ever going to get another car at this nice area?" Which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The nice area should be the place that should be very easy to get a car, right? But maybe it wasn't a nice area.
I don't know. I mean, it looked nice, but
then
who
it doesn't.
knows?
Then it stopped looking nice when they go off road because they go to that rubble.
I mean, I guess that's true. Yeah.
So here we go. They tell him about the brother, which he takes like totally in stride and is not like.
It's almost as if he knew the whole time. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I think Chris Rock should not have been allowed to read the script. And I think they should have shot that scene first. And he should have been like, "What? I have a brother?" Because he doesn't react at all. The only thing I think he says about it is like, "Oh, he couldn't give me a call or something." And I was like, "What? I don't understand."
Well, you'd also instantly ask the question, "He knew about me?" Right? You
100%,
instantly
yeah,
want
like,
to know that.
Did he know? Did he die not knowing? What happened? I don't know, man. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. So then we get into some nice bargaining, which is, as we all know in comedy, is always the most fun thing to watch is bargaining for money.
Yeah.
And they offer him $25,000, which they then say, "Yeah, that's plenty for your girlfriend to go to college." Tony.
Yes.
$25,000. What will that buy you?
Clown college. I don't even know. You know what? I shouldn't have said that. I don't know. I've never looked into clown college. I don't know if it's cheaper. Maybe it's not cheaper. Maybe it's the same price. I'll tell you this. I went to college in 2003.
Yes, 2003.
And 25,000 was like maybe a semester at best. It's crazy.
This is like community college, and
For sure.
And you're on food stamps still.
Yeah, 100%.
So they bargain back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And finally, Chris Rock gets the best of him and is going to get $100,000, $10,000 up front, and $90,000 after he dies.
After he dies.
Okay, so now we do, like, we have a nice joke that I like. He's talking about how poor they were, and he says, "We lick stamps for dinner."
Sure.
Nice joke.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of jokes, and then there's a couple of jokes that are written and not performed well. And then there's a lot of jokes that are just not jokes, I think. But, you get a mixed bag in here.
So basically, we've got like 8 days 7 or 8 days to train him to be the Thing. And he's got to get up at 5 a.m., which he doesn't like. And so Anthony Hopkins comes in there and pours water on him twice. And then the third time, he throws water in Anthony Hopkins' face.
Switcheroo. Great bit.
We play rock music, and then he's like learning cigars and wine. He's drinking wine like he doesn't care, and then he's making cigars like he does care. And
What does that mean? Drinking wine like he doesn't care.
he slams the wine at one point.
Oh no, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
No, he does. You're right. You're right. He doesn't care. He's just going for, he's just drinking the wine. He has no cares in the world.
Anything else from this montage that met your?
It's dumb. What a pointless 3 minutes of my life. Like I don't even care at all. And then we get to the part where he's like trying the cognac or whatever, and he's like, dry, but never precocious. And I was like, that's not even human. And they're all impressed by that. Like it. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Okay. So then they're like, okay, let's send him to New York and see if he can fit in. So he goes to the apartment. The bad guys are observing him. This white lady brings him in, and then he has to like fake his way to tell her that her vase is expensive. And like he doesn't even really get caught.
There's so many moments in these next few scenes where it's a dead giveaway and nobody picks up on it.
And they don't even make it like meaningful. They just sort of go like, oh, he sort of got through it, sort of, but we don't really care that he got through it.
Yeah. Nor should he have gotten through it. But that's fine.
So the terrorist comes and he gets in there, and Chris Rock slams the door into his face, and then Chris Rock gets on a ledge, and then Chris Rock's character just runs away. So his character really just has like this very quick, instant interaction with the guy.
Yeah.
And then is no part of the scene. And then the whole scene is this other random white guy, CIA agent, who does all the action in the movie. And then Anthony Hopkins kind of does a little background action.
Yeah.
And then they get to the
No, go.
And so they get to the top, and the terrorist is there, and they're all like, come down and we'll not kill you. And then he jumps to his death. And then you see Anthony Hopkins has a toothpick.
The whole time.
Sticking out of his mouth. And this toothpick sort of appears and disappears as sort of this character motif at different times.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just ran up a bunch of stairs with that toothpick in your mouth? Or you ran up a bunch of stairs, then you deployed that toothpick?
It's that one. Yeah. Definitely that one, Dan. It's a calming thing, like, oh shit, I just watched a guy die. Better chew on my wood here. So here's the thing about this, Dan, is that nobody follows Chris Rock.
No.
Somebody's job needs to be to protect Chris Rock in this. No?
No. That would make sense.
Oh, I see. I thought you were honestly arguing with me, and I was like, what are you talking about?
That would mean that you had an operation.
Right, which I'm led to presume they did. He is the asset, Dan. You need him for the whole time. Someone needs to be watching him. I don't understand.
You mean he needs to have a handler? No, yeah, that would have made sense. Like if they'd have put a CIA agent in his apartment, like here's Johnny Mac. He's my buddy. He's coming to stay with me for a couple of days. And
or like an assistant. Maybe he gets an assistant to his, merchandising. Is that what he does? What does he do? Antique? What does he do?
He's an antique dealer.
Antique Roadshow.
So he's on the run. Calls his lady, tries to get her back. Anthony Hopkins doing the toothpick. Then, of course, this guy. Okay, Tony, let's talk about this for a second.
Please, yes, okay, please get serious.
You're on the run.
From the CIA.
From the CIA. You know that the CIA has your dossier with every bit of information about you.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to do.
You go to your mom.
I'm going to hit all of my hot spots. Okay. Everywhere that I've frequented in the last 2 weeks consistently, that's where I'm going to go. Because they'll never expect it because they're expecting it. You know what I mean? It's too obvious. And so they're going to look in secret places.
Now,
It's all mind games.
here's a question I have for you.
Yeah, tell me.
Would you have a secret friend that the CIA would have no idea who they were that you could go to and hide out with?
No.
No,
I
you
would
have
like
no one.
to, Dan. You're my friend. You're the only friend I got.
Hold
They
on.
know.
Hold
They
on.
know because we
Hold
do a
on.
podcast. They would watch this podcast and be like, well, he's at that guy's house. That's where he's
Yeah,
at.
if you came to my house, that'd be the dumbest thing in the world. But you don't have any of your
Where
weird
else am I gonna go, Dan? I got nobody.
You have all your weird wrestling friends.
That's true. I could shack up with one of them in one of their, one bedroom apartments.
There's definitely one of your weird wrestling friends that you never communicate with on the internet. You just see in person, but you still maybe know where he lives, and you could just go over to his weird house, right?
Not only that, but they're all great people, but they would definitely hide me from the cops.
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
1 second.
They would take me in and they would protect me.
Yes.
It's great.
And it's like you have people on your, maybe you don't have people on your street, but like, we got this one
I
guy
don't
on
even
our
live on a
street.
street.
We got this one guy on our street, Hal, super nice guy. I don't know Hal's phone number, but I know exactly where Hal lives. He lives 2 doors down up on the thing. I could just go there. I hang out at his door. Hal would see me. He'd be like, oh man. I'd be like, they're coming to kill me. And he'd be like, oh dude, yeah, I'll hide you out.
Oh, dude, yeah, get in here, bro. That's what
or then
I like. Hal. Hal seems like a good dude.
Hal, super great guy. But you have a million people in your life that the CIA would never figure out where you're at. That you wouldn't, whatever. So he goes to his mom, and Anthony Hopkins figures it out instantaneously,
which is shocking. But what's more shocking, Dan, is nobody else comes. It's just Anthony Hopkins.
Well,
so he outsmarted the rest of the CIA.
The rest of the CIA does not figure out that that's where he'd go. You're just like, this is literally the dumbest CIA.
Anthony Hopkins is the only guy in that building that was like, well, shit, I wonder if he's going to go see his mother. Everyone else is like, no, that's crazy, Anthony. That's crazy. It's ridiculous.
So he goes there, and then he's all like, you should help us because 1 million people will die, and I'm going to go outside. And then he doesn't come outside. He comes back, and he's like, what you should have said to me is, bitch, get in the car.
Get in the car, bitch. What? Why would he say that? He's trying to be nice to you. It's very strange to me.
It's very strange. So we find out that the bad guys, what the name of the bad guys is?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
The Black Hand.
Oh, the Black Hand.
We only used that one time, I think, in this whole movie.
That's probably right. That's probably one time too many, if I'm being honest.
So what they do is now they're going to tell him the truth, but instead of telling him the truth, they fake kidnap him.
Yep.
Talk about the fake kidnap scene, Tony.
What is there? I don't even know. Okay. What I do want. Okay, listen. When they get him kidnapped at the end, right? Let me back up. When they kidnap him, Dan, they bag him, right?
Yeah.
Do they tie his hands at all?
Don't remember.
I don't remember either, and I feel like you should. If you're kidnapping somebody, you have to have their hands some way.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I mean,
but then when we get to the end, he's like, I stole this dude's wallet.
Yeah.
That's how I knew it was you guys.
Yeah, you mean in the fake kidnapping?
Yeah, and the fake. Oh, is this not the fake kidnapping?
Yeah,
is this the real kidnapping?
I thought you were talking about the real kidnapping. I was trying to remember what happened.
No,
so you're saying in
sorry.
the fake kidnapping, yes, you would tie his hands. Of course you would.
Right, because
you wouldn't
otherwise,
want him
swinging around, hitting you, because that's what I would do. I would just go into helicopter mode.
Getting handsy.
He's going to get handsy, yeah. But when he sits in a chair and he just sits there, like, I don't understand. They put him in a chair and he just sits there. You're not going to run. He's not tied then. None of it makes any sense. It never feels like a real kidnapping. And they're like, how did you know it was us?
Well, they're like, we did this fake kidnapping to show you that when you get kidnapped, you should do a bunch of observation stuff, which he gets kidnapped later, and I don't think he does all the special observations.
He doesn't do any, no, because in that one,
he doesn't steal anybody's
wallets. And his hands do get, he does nothing. He's learned nothing in this movie, Dan.
So we go to Prague. He's now Michael Turner. We have this really weird scene where he like gets like the ladies to come and do his nails, and he orders a
Yeah.
bunch of expensive food.
Yeah.
And it's like really weird because it's not
Uh-huh.
sort of how this character was set up.
Not at all. No. It's yeah. I don't even understand it if I'm being honest.
Because we've set up this character to be like basically family man who wants to get his family back, but now we're like he's the player who's gonna play the
Yeah.
man, and it's like
Yeah, he
stupid.
is.
It doesn't make. It's like we'd rather that was our character.
Well, I mean, let's just pick one. I don't have a preference. I think they both stink. And I don't think it's going to save your movie either way, but you got to pick one.
So now we set up this whole computer retinal thing with it just being him, where this other computer is going to capture the codes, and then only he can uncapture the codes. And basically, they're tying all this stuff into him for an unknowable reason. Couldn't you just as easily have had Anthony Hopkins do all this?
Not only could you, but you should. And you know why, Dan?
Why?
Because one of them's a fucking trained CIA agent. The other one's a guy you pulled off the street. If someone's going to die, it's almost definitely going to be the guy that isn't a trained CIA agent. So maybe don't put everything in his shoulders, right? But use him as almost a decoy the whole time, guys.
But you know they're doing this because they're setting up that he has to be, we have to keep him around for the third act somehow. And this stupid computer is how we keep him around for the third act.
It's a terrible plan, is all I'm saying.
So the other thing is, one of the bad guys is named the Hammer. And we make a couple of comments about him being the Hammer and how he does cruel, horrible hammer-like things.
They show a picture at one point, don't they? I think they're like, oh, it's the Hammer. Like, why do they call him a Hammer? And then there's like a picture that we don't see, and he's like, whoa.
Yeah. Does the Hammer ever do anything in the movie?
No, and he doesn't ever use a hammer. And I understand that wasn't what they said. They weren't like, well, he uses a hammer to disfigure people. But in my head, I was like, I want to see him kick some shit out of people with a hammer. I want to, that's what I want.
If you set up a dude named the Hammer, and he never does any hammering or any hammer-related stuff, like why are you doing this?
Any hammering. I don't know. You need to make the hammer, guys. I need to see some hammer.
So we have this whole meeting with the Hammer where we just are basically like, here's another phone. Oh, then we look at the other phone and then we see that.
This is the moment, Dan. This is the moment where you find out what the phone is for. Go.
The phone is there so they can see where he was for 8 days. Yep. Like they couldn't have just watched him for 8 days?
That's what I'm saying. Listen, the phone clearly has a GPS in it because it's following you where you go. They can't just monitor that. Why? It's like half technology here. I don't understand listen, I have no idea what's going on. But if you give someone a cell phone, you can definitely just track them if it's on. Like the GPS location is constantly sending to a tower that's sending to a satellite or I don't know how phones work, but you can as long as it's on and connected to a cell tower, you know where he is.
It's weird.
I don't know.
So we have a whole new thing and then they give him a new phone. Here's a new phone to set up.
Well, yeah, because that old phone, it's done its job. He's never going to figure out that the new phone does the same thing as the old phone. Don't worry.
So he goes back to the hotel and boom, world's hottest woman is there. And that turns out to be his brother's ex-girlfriend or girlfriend until very recently.
Yeah.
And she's very smoking hot.
Yeah, she's smoking hot. She is not to be tangential, she's in a great episode of Psych where she plays a hypersexualized boss at a radio station and her and Dulé have like a thing, and it's very sexy.
I can imagine. She's very hot, and Chris Rock is not really having to act very hard to,
But he's having to act really hard to like pretend he's not, because the character has to like be like, I'm not interested, and it's so unbelievable.
Yeah,
because in my head I'm like, well, Chris Rock is not believable because he can't act that good. It's so opposite of what he's feeling in real life. He can't pull it off.
He's a man. He's a spy. He's got to do something. So he hides in the bathroom and calls his girlfriend.
Yep.
So they go out to
goes
dinner.
On a date with her, right?
He goes on a date with her, and then he kind of fakes yelling at her like he's mad, and then she gets all over him, and she's all like, the old Michael wasn't caring, and you have emotions, and I love you want you even more.
Right. And so he's very different. Everyone notices that he's different, but nobody thinks that that's weird.
Well, so they go back to the thing, and then she's like standing there with him, and then she like goes to kiss him, and then she's like, "You're not him."
She does kiss him.
She does
That's
kiss
what
him.
the tip off is. She's like, "Oh, your lips are shitty, and you are not the guy I
Is
know."
that what it is? His lips are shitty.
I
So
don't know
the
why he's a bad kisser or he kisses different because, I feel like you would know, right?
see that's where I got confused because she doesn't say. I mean that you want to have like a line right there is like, "You're not Michael. Michael doesn't kiss like that. Michael kisses like a wet dead fish."
Oh, you
Or
think Michael kisses worse? I imagine that this new guy kisses worse. I think the old suave, serious guy was a great kisser, and I think Chris Rock's a terrible. Well, they're both Chris Rock. That was confusing.
so I don't know. So then what do? We have a giant gun battle in the stairwell where the whole
Giant.
well, whatever.
Yeah, I just want to be careful with our words, Dan. I don't want people to go into this thinking there's high octane action because there's not, you guys. This is a very subdued action movie.
And where did they spend the whole thing, Tony? The whole action
Hiding
scene?
in a trash chute or no, laundry chute. Right?
Which they make it seem like if they let go and fall, they're going to
They're
die.
dead. But then they just do it.
And they fall and they're not dead.
Yep. In fact, they're totally fine. They're great. They're almost better than when they started. I don't know.
So
Stupid.
they're all there wearing black and being like a bunch of CIA agents, and the woman is a CNN reporter, and she looks at them and she's like, "All, you're all a bunch of drug dealers. I'm out of
Yeah.
here."
Yeah, she's a terrible, terrible investigative journalist.
She would have known instantaneously that they were
Of course,
CIA.
she would, or maybe not CIA, but definitely,
Spooks.
the man. They're something. They're government issued for sure.
No one amongst them looked like a drug dealer.
Right.
Everyone looked at them like they were Langley spooks. It's like
100%.
So we go to this church, and I wrote very boring. Check it out. I don't know why I wrote that.
Very boring. Check it out, guys.
And then
you gotta love it.
They're doing the thing, and they're doing. Yeah, I guess this is when we do all the computer stuff, and he has to like make them think that he's doing a thing, and then he's just
stalling.
Okay, Tony.
Yeah. Okay.
He does all these jokes that are like Wu-Tang Clan and Dr. Dre and Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers.
Yeah, you mean like international famous people?
You mean, yeah, basketball in Europe is so freaking huge. It's insane.
Well, but Shaquille O'Neal's not like a famous basketball player, He's just like, he just played for a while and
just sort
he's
of
really good.
Then Michael Jordan, the number one player probably at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's believable that they would know all of these incredibly famous people. Yeah. It's so dumb. And it's aggravating.
So the bad guys do a double cross, then they do a triple cross, then they...
Wait, don't brush over my favorite line in the movie.
Okay.
Because that's it, like...
Triple cross?
Yes. Oh, but you got to set it up right, Dan.
Okay.
Because Anthony Hopkins is there, playing it super chill. I mean, this guy has zero emotions in this entire movie. He's very, very cool as a cucumber. And he's like, oh, an interesting double cross. And then, like, a minute later, there's another guy pulls a gun and he goes, triple cross, let's go. We gotta get out of here. But he just yells triple cross. And it's my favorite moment of the movie. I want to say it in real life, but it's so rare that moment comes up, that there is a triple cross in real life, that I'm going to figure out a different way to use it as like a euphemism or a metaphor. Because I want to scream triple cross at some point in my life. Otherwise, it'll be unfulfilled.
So then there's a car chase. They have like a tracker on their car, which literally they go over a tiny bump and it just falls off.
Just falls off. Yeah, it's not great technology, Dan. The magnet is pretty weak.
Weak
We're
magnets.
working on it.
So Tony, talk about the car chase versus like a Dax Shepard directed car chase.
I think that this car chase makes Dax look like he's directing that the French Connection. You know what I mean? Like that's how good Dax looks compared to this. So boring. Nothing even happens, Dan. Calling it a car chase, I think, is a misnomer. It's a car scene.
They back over a little into a little ravine.
And then they just get stuck. I don't know. It's so weird. But the whole time, Chris Rock is screaming like nonstop. Guys, you got to put levels in there because by the end of this scene, I was exhausted just listening to how I'm sure it's how people feel after they listen to this podcast with me screaming for 90 minutes. But Chris Rock screams for 4 solid minutes about nothing. It's ridiculous.
So the bad guys have got the bomb. The bad guys have got the suitcase. The thing the bad guys don't have is Chris Rock's eyeballs. So, of course, we do this whole thing. Boom, we're going to dangle him. We're going to put him out there. Then the terrorists are going to come for him, and then we're going to figure it all out. Ho, 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 ho. They somehow, the terrorists go to his house, and somehow those people at the house have records of his phone calls. And somehow they figure out he called his girlfriend. Then somehow they all go to America in like one day, like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then somehow they have an entire network set up there to grab her. They also get the bomb to New York somehow too within a day.
Yeah.
Like boom, we just walked it over there.
Dan, you're saying all these things incredulously. So far, you've said nothing that doesn't make perfect sense. Light speed travel. All information. I mean, come on, it's easy.
More importantly, they grab the girlfriend as she's just walking down the street.
Yeah, she's not doing much.
They know it's. They knew exactly where she was.
They knew it was her. They knew exactly where she was. They're the bad guys, Dan. They know everything. They're omniscient. It's like you don't watch movies.
We also do a whole thing where we set up, because Chris Rock plays chess, his brother played chess, and we start doing some chess analogies. There's only 3 things to do in chess: attack, retreat, and block.
Is that true?
Which one do they choose? Yeah, kind of, I guess.
Block? Attack.
What does block mean?
I don't know. I don't understand chess. I don't know how to play, Dan.
What does block mean in chess?
What does it even mean? I'm going to move my knight in front of my king, obviously.
So, Tony, how do they go about blocking the terrorists?
They move the rooks.
They do. So everybody goes to New York City, and what do? They mobilize 10,000 agents.
Is that what they said? Did they say 10,000?
It seems like it, though.
Okay, I mean, I agree with you. I was like, if they threw out a number, I was going to lose my mind.
Helicopters, thousands of vehicles, like everything.
Yeah,
everything.
You got it. Everyone but the kitchen sink.
So they call him on the phone. They're like, "We give us Michael Kevin Turner the third." So they put him out there. They put him in a van. They drive the van to this hospital. They get him out, and then they carry another guy who's you cannot tell who it is, and they put him in a van, and everyone in the audience goes, "That's not him."
Right? That's not. So if you're gonna do a bait and switch, right? You can't tip it that hard. You know what I mean? Like, because there's a reveal. If you're not going to reveal it, fine. If you're just like, oh, this is the decoy and they're going to chase that, that's fine. But then later they go over the fact that they have to pull out the hood and they're like, oh my God, that's not him. And then they cut to a different place as if like, okay, yeah, well, we know that he wasn't there. What a waste of 4 minutes.
Oh, it was such a waste. So they do the bait and switch, and then the entire CIA follows them, including Anthony Hopkins initially. And then he drives for like 50 blocks, and then he remembers it. And what does he do when he figures out that it's a fake out?
He goes by himself again, right?
No.
No, what does he do?
He just turns the car around and starts driving back. There's the other
Yeah.
guy, the other random white guy, but doesn't call
Oh,
anybody
right,
on
yeah,
the
right.
phone, doesn't do
That's what I mean.
anything.
He doesn't call for backup. He doesn't
No,
tell anyone.
no.
It's just like the house with his mom. It's like he's just smarter than everybody else, but he doesn't want to tell people. He doesn't want to showboat, Dan. That's what I like about him.
But literally, there's a dude sitting next to him
Yeah,
that
well,
he
you're right
doesn't
about
want to
that.
tell what's happening.
That's right. You're right about that. Hey, where are we going? Don't worry about it.
I think he says something like, "Where are we going?" And the operator's silence.
Yeah.
Like, just say a word.
Well,
And then that
he's
guy could
too
get on
cool
the
for
radio
school.
and say, we have 200 helicopters following that car.
Maybe let's take one.
Maybe send a couple back.
just one. I only need one. There's only like 3 bad guys. They're gonna take them out by themselves anyhow. But a little backup would be nice.
So they cut open his eyelids and make him look at the thing.
Is that really what they do?
They were going to. It was funny.
Because they like cut
They
it
cut
a
him
little,
bit,
and then
yeah.
he's just like, ah, like Home Alone's it for a second.
And then these numbers come up, and then this is when the training for being kidnapped comes in. He memorizes these 4 numbers.
Well, it's more than 4, right?
No, it's 4 numbers.
Well, aren't there different rows of 4?
It's 4.
I don't
Well, I mean, it's 4 strings of numbers.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yep.
So he memorizes those numbers. Doesn't tell us he's memorizing those numbers. We just know. I didn't know he was memorizing those numbers. I
Well,
wasn't really
wasn't,
paying any
Dan.
attention.
He wasn't. Don't worry.
So we find out the bomb's at Grand Central Station. We run around. Somehow, the terrorists have gotten the bomb into a locked. Oh, I guess they jimmied the lock into a locked cabinet
Yeah.
where old luggage goes, and they've left one guy there with a machine gun to protect it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a secret room, Dan. You don't need a bunch of people protecting it. Then it looks less secret.
So there's a giant gun battle, and Chris Rock is trying to like type the numbers into the computer, and then the bad guy comes in the door with the other guy, and then
Wait, hold on. You didn't tell people how he's memorized these numbers. Do you remember what the explanation
yes,
is?
I remember what.
I only remember in chess moves and Nick's tickets or some shit like
yes,
that.
so the
so dumb.
Queens, Rook, Knicks versus the
Right.
Jazz, July 7th, 1942.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, it's real dumb.
And then the bad guy comes in. This bad guy is, I think, one of the worst. The 2 bad guys in this movie are some of the worst bad guys ever put in movies.
Which is too bad because the main bad guy, I love him. He's in like a ton of stuff.
Oh, the first guy or the second guy? The one that's already dead by now, or this guy?
No, I think it's this guy, right? The guy that is in Armageddon. He's the guy that bangs on the stuff. Everything built in China. You know?
Wow, what a that's a scene. He's
the
and scene. Wow, Tony. God damn, that's some acting.
I'm gonna put that scene in this podcast, and people are gonna love it. They'll be like, "Oh, I remember that. That's a great scene from Armageddon."
Well, he says a bunch of crazy things. I was gonna go write them all down because they're so great. Because they're so terrible.
But you didn't.
We learn what death is. War reduced to video games. Playing God. Prepare to go meet God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Well, I like him. I looked up his name. It's Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare. Yeah, Peter Stormare. Everybody loves him.
He's great. He's great.
So,
in a lot of stuff. He's also in John Wick. One of them.
So Chris Rock remembers the numbers, and with 12/100ths of a second, he turns off the bomb, and he goes and gets married, and he gets paid. How much did he get paid, Tony?
We got his 100,000, right?
He got his 100,000.
Because then they do the really great joke of he's giving his mom money, and he gives her a check, and she's like, $90,000. It's like, oh, that's my check. This one's yours. Here's $8. You dumb bitch.
What was the? It was the 10,000.
It was the 10,000 one. Yeah.
And then I was just like so disappointed. I was like, they were going to give these bastards $20 million, and he's getting $100,000 for everything
Hey,
he did.
man, a deal's a deal, okay?
And so
If you start just giving extra money, everyone's going to expect it.
then Anthony
Government.
Hopkins pulls out a thing and he's like, "Aha! This is for you for your wedding." And I'm like, "Here it is. There's the $1 million, or there's the $20 million."
Oh, okay.
And what's in that envelope?
I honestly don't remember.
2 fucking tickets to Hawaii. You know what
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
have done?
the honeymoon.
I'd have been like, I just saved $100 billion. I mean, if you blew up a nuclear weapon in New York
Yeah.
City, that's at least $100 billion worth of damage.
Okay, and let's also talk lots of death. Also
Lots of
important.
death. But yeah, I mean, death. We'll make more.
People, buildings, property
Money's
damage. That's
money.
what we got to talk about.
And you're giving me $100,000 and 2 piece of shit tickets to Hawaii? Like, you're ready to give a
Well, which
terrorist
island?
$20 million.
Which island, Dan? That makes a big difference. Maybe it's Oahu. I only know 2 islands. Honolulu, Oahu. That's all I know. Maybe they're not even both islands. Maybe they're just cities on the same island. I don't know.
Honolulu's a city, Tony.
Okay, which island? The
So,
big island.
the big island.
I'm just saying words that I know people say when they talk about Hawaii.
I know. And that's the end of the movie. Kerry Washington went on to have a career. Anthony Hopkins went on to have a career. Chris Rock, great comedian. Don't do more
Not a
movies like
good
this.
actor. I
mean,
was looking at his IMDb.
yeah.
This was 4 years after my favorite Chris Rock performance, which is, of course, Lethal Weapon 4. But that's kind of like, I was looking, I was like, I don't think I care about anything else he's ever done. Yeah.
He was in the horse movie, right?
The horse movie?
Yeah.
Which horse?
It's like a live action, like a zebra gets turned into a horse or something. Racing Stripes?
I don't know. Maybe. He's in Madagascar.
Hmm.
Anyhow, I don't think he's a great actor.
No.
He's very funny, but I don't think he's a great actor.
Well, he needs to be put in a role where he's having fun. You know, you put him. You know, you always think about like how great Eddie Murphy was in Bowfinger, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you give him actually something to do. He didn't have anything to do. He was like running away. He ran away in this whole movie.
Well, you know what, Dan? You know what this movie actually reminded me of? Which, again, I apologize. This was not a buddy cop movie. I fucked up. But this movie reminds me a ton of Enemy of the State, which I think was a few years before this with Will Smith and Gene Hackman.
Yeah, but that was a great movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this can be done. You said he wasn't given anything to do. It's just a bad script. But, like, I mean, that movie is baller.
Well, yeah, because that movie's actually about something. And
Sure.
those characters are both about something. They both go through something. Chris Rock's character doesn't really go through anything. And
well, they try to put him through stuff. He just doesn't care. He had a brother that he never knew about. He doesn't give a shit.
The issue with this movie is they have access to the entire CIA, and they're never going against. You know, in your buddy cop movie, you have to be like, I'm smarter than them. I'm doing what I need to do. And like even John Slattery's like the sort of head CIA guy, and he just plays 10% dick. And it's like you have to put that guy role at 90% dick.
I need more dick for sure.
Yeah. It's like you go back to Con Air and they have Cole Meany plays like that guy, and he is 125% dick, and you hate him, and you're glad when his beautiful car is destroyed, and you know, it's like all these sort of things. You have to do those things, even though those kind of characters are unpleasant and we hate them. You have to provide us to them.
Yeah, that's why the movie's not about them. They provide, you know, the context for our main character.
Yeah. So this movie, is it bad?
Yes.
It's boring.
Oh no, you
It's
yes, that's I said that so many times last night. I was like, Naomi checked out maybe 10 minutes into the movie. She just got on her phone and started doing her own thing. And I was like, I
yes.
think this is the most boring movie we've ever done. I'm just bored. I at one point I think I left at some point and like did something else for 15 minutes and then came back and I was like, well, I didn't miss anything. So here we go.
I think I have to requalify what I think. I don't think it was boring. I just think it was bland.
What is your definition between the two? What's the difference between the two for you?
I mean, I guess it is boring because I did play a lot of solitaire while I was watching it.
I First of all, I think we should start doing a measurement. That's how you should rate your movies: is how many games of solitaire you got in during the movie. I played 15 games of solitaire. This was not a good one.
So I guess it is. I guess. See, I guess I always look at a movie. Boring isn't a thing that makes me angry.
Interesting. Okay.
Boring actually doesn't bother me because boring doesn't mean you're actively like tormenting me with your movie.
Sure.
Your movie's just
Sure.
like it's just like because I can just tune out while I hear bang 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 bang
Yeah.
bang 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 because you know nothing's happening. It's
Somebody
like
was running there. I heard running.
if you like look at like the gun battle where they're battling in the luggage the
Ugh.
luggage, it's like one
Yeah.
of the worst gun battles ever.
Yeah. It's terrible.
And like they finally get it and do the thing, and then of course the bad guy is going to get shot as soon as they have the thing they need. It's like boom, boom, he's dead, like immediately. It's like so telegraphed and terrible. I don't know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I didn't hate the filmmakers because of this. I just wouldn't ever want to work with them.
Or hire them for another movie.
Yeah,
But I don't want to like punch them in the face per se.
no.
But I would like to sit him down and I would be like, Joel, what happened? What happened here, bud? Where were you? Were you on vacation? Mentally? Did you just check out? Maybe he's playing solitaire while the cameras are rolling. That's the problem. He's like, yeah, we got it. Let's go on to the next scene. I don't care.
I remember the guy that does the computers. That guy, he was in Boardwalk Empire, and he was great in Boardwalk Empire. And he's
Sure.
a really fun actor.
Yeah.
He has to do so much work as the computer guy to, to make it so that they could say, it's like those Dan Goodsell lines where it's like, well, we have to make it so that Michael's in jeopardy, but he's not in too much jeopardy, but he's in the
Yeah.
right amount of, and he has to like weave these bullshit technical jargon lines
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
these plot points workable. And that is the benchmark of a movie that's truly terrible, where that character has to do all this heavy lifting to get you to know where
Yeah.
you want to be. And that's this movie.
Yeah, it is. So one last thing, and then I'm done with
Okay.
this, and we can move on. And we'll put a nice little bow on it.
Moving on.
I'm going to come back with a vengeance and actually get us a buddy cop movie at some point.
Okay.
Because
Find us
this
a real
was not
buddy
it,
cop movie.
and I messed up. I apologize. I would like to sincerely apologize to everyone out there for misleading you and misleading Dan. It was never my intention.
Good job, Tony. So
Thanks,
now's the
bud.
point of the show where we talk about something we like this week. I'm just
All
going to
right.
talk a little bit about Saturday Night Live. I watched some of my favorite
Interesting.
sketches again. This week, Oscar
From
Isaacs was the host. What?
Okay.
From all over the place.
Got
Oscar
it. Okay.
Isaacs was the host. There's a meatball sketch, which everyone has to watch. It's freaking incredible.
Did you say meatball, like the food? Okay, I'll look it up.
Super worth watching. And I watched this other YouTube video where this one guy who was a young guy watched like all the seasons of Saturday Night Live to see how it sort of holds up to someone
Stacks up, sure.
who hasn't lived through it. He really didn't care for the early stuff. He did not think a lot of it was funny.
How early are we talking? Like
the
Chevy
beginning.
Chase?
The beginning, yeah.
Like the not ready for primetime players. It's not super great. There's some good stuff.
If you grew up on it, he saw like Mr. Bill and he thought it was like the worst thing ever. We all grew up on Mr. Bill and thought it was the funniest thing ever. Whatever. But he
It's
loved
hmm,
he loved like Toonces, and he loved the Phil Hartman's Bigfoot cave,
I mean,
unfrozen Bigfoot
yeah. How
lawyer.
do you not? Yeah.
Um, and then he talked about like the newer stuff, and he's like, "There's good stuff and there's bad stuff, and the good stuff is good, and the bad stuff is forgettable of all seasons."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing is it's never been I don't think there's ever been a season that's like 100%, or even maybe even above 50. Like if you're batting 50,
Oh, they don't ever
that's
bat
a
50.
good season.
They
You know what
never.
I mean? Like you just crushed it. I personally don't enjoy the now times as much, but that's just me.
That's because you have you have sentimental stuff from when you were 17 and 19.
I do, and maybe that it's hard for me. I can't say that that's not part of it because I'm not impartial, right? But I will say that I do feel in general we don't commit as hard. There's no we. I don't feel like the today scene commits as hard as we used to. I just don't.
It's because you're thinking about a few specific performers like Chris Farley,
100%. 100%.
who
Yes.
nobody commits as hard as Chris Farley. Nobody.
But they should.
They
You know what I
should.
mean? Like,
Yeah. No,
because
I agree.
I feel everything, not everything, a lot of stuff is very tongue in cheek, and that's fine. But I also want someone to actually become a fucking character. Where's Church Lady? Oh my God, Church Lady was so good. Where is that? There's not, the character work is not as strong to me.
There's not a lot of people that are as skilled as a Dana Carvey, a Martin
Sure.
Short. There's a
Oh,
bunch of a
yes.
bunch there's a bunch of players out there that have been through Saturday Night Live. But you look at the work that the Ted Lasso guy is doing now. He's going to be doing that level of work the rest of his life. Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you really looked and tried to find the 10 best Jason Sudeikis sketches, I don't know that you'd find 10 of the greatest sketches of all time.
Agreed. Yeah.
His dancing thing is phenomenal, but his
Yeah.
post
Yeah.
SNL work, I think that's also has to do sort of with the nature of the show. But I just wanted to say, I rewatched a bunch of the Rock sketches. The one where he is doing the wrestling thing and he's catfish Bobby Moynihan. If you've never watched
Oh
that
yeah.
sketch, that
Yeah.
sketch is. And then the one where he has the evil professor that builds the child molesting robot. One of the greatest sketches of all time.
Well, he is the Rock.
Is
Cheers.
The Rock. So what do you got for us, Tony?
Well, oh Dan, last night. I guess 2 days ago now, but we watched it last night. And now, obviously, this will be 3 weeks in the past for most people. But Joe Millionaire, for richer or poorer, came to an end, and it was just so good. I want to
Did you
reiterate,
cry?
I did not cry at the finale, but I have cried in the season. It's just so much more fun, and it sounds stupid, but like not real, but I do feel like the connections were more real than a Bachelor. And we're watching both simultaneously. And this is obviously a terrible Bachelor year. You can fight me if you want to. It's garbage. But Joe Millionaire was so good, and I'm bummed to see it go. My Thursday nights are not going to be the same, and I hope they try another season. But I don't know if they can recapture, because the best part of the show is actually the bromance between Steve and Kurt. That's what makes it so much fun. Is that they're just, I don't know, they're great. Anyhow, it was a wonderful season. I had a blast, and we're gonna miss it.
So for next week, I get to pick the movie. And
Yeah,
this
you do.
time, we're going to go to the Marvel Universe.
Oh,
The Marvel
okay.
Universe, you say? You
Now,
mean where they. What? What are
I'll
you
just
saying?
shut
Well,
up
no,
and
what
let
are
you
you
do your
saying,
thing.
Tony? We were going to say something.
I was gonna say, are we doing MCU or pre-MCU?
It's all the MCU, baby.
I don't get deep on me. Don't try to be. All right, now
I
you do
mean,
your
is
pitch.
this before the movies that made the Marvel Universe what the Marvel Universe is today? Well, of course, this movie's from before there, because the worst of the new ones is like Captain Marvel and I don't want to have to sit through that again.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't hate Captain Marvel.
I didn't hate it either. I wouldn't want to sit through it again.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So I'm picking the quintessential Marvel character, Howard the Duck, baby.
Yes, Howard the Duck. Oh, I can't wait to talk about how attractive Leah Thompson is.
So we're doing Howard the Duck. Was it Jeffrey Jones? Is that Jeffrey
I don't
Jones
know.
is
I
the
haven't
bad
seen
guy?
this movie since I was a kid, Dan, and it scared the shit out of me.
It scared the shit out of you.
Not in like a
Excellent.
scary. It was just so weird that I just was like, I don't know. I'm excited to see it again as an adult and see what's up.
So we're going to Howard. I thought this movie wasn't available, but boom, it's on Amazon. So
All right, thank you
There
very
it
much,
is.
Amazon. Not a sponsor, everybody.
So if you like what you see, leave us a comment, leave us a like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, Venmo.
Venmo, yeah, I'll put your Venmo on the bottom here, Dan. Don't
That's-
Venmo me. I don't want any money from this. I just want the joy.
And we'll be back next week with our candid thoughts about Howard
H
the Duck.
the D.
H the D, baby!
Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, watch him!